Hello guys, my name is Wale Farong. I'm a tech entrepreneur and you are watching another episode of Tech Roundup, your weekly opinion, views and analysis of the top tech events happening around the world with a focus on Nigeria. On Tech Roundup this week, we'll review what consumer lending businesses are doing to provide consumer financing in Nigeria. We'll speak to an expert about information and data security, and we'll wrap up this week's episode with a new look at search engine optimization. Don't forget to watch an exciting announcement and our number of the week at the end of the show. We have the packed show, so let's get started. The population of a market doesn't necessarily translate to the size of its consumer market. As a matter of fact, the purchasing power of the population determines the attractiveness of the market from a commerce standpoint. The average household in the US has an access to about $10,000 of credit line just for about anything. The famous American dream is predicated on the concept of accessing loans to buy a house, get a car, and to support your family. Obviously, this works when there are jobs and people are able to repay. But what really lies behind a functioning consumer credit system are the tools available to do an assessment of the ability of the lender to pay back. Sounds simple? Yes, but it's also very complicated. In a market where reward and punishment for payback or otherwise are not enforced, it becomes a monumental problem to solve. So much has been written about Nigerian Fintech space, and one of the growing verticals is the lending space. But is it really growing? Anyone in Nigeria who has the opportunity to borrow will do so, and as a result, we must be careful to measure the growth of these companies by the number and value of loans originated. Rather, it must be based on the default rates and the payment back. After all, calculating interest on liabilities doesn't make sense. The main challenge for this startup is figuring out the best way to do credit assessment and build out the history of each lender. And many have used technology including big data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to study emerging patterns and determine credit scores, mostly for microcredits or microlending. Subsequent credit decision, which leads to higher amounts, is then built on this history. The problem is that consumers are now devising means to be patient, game the system, and obtain approval for larger amounts. After all, there's not much in terms of punishment for defaulters. From a technology standpoint, I think startups in this space must consider the following. 1. The increment in the amount accessible to borrowers must be controlled and be relatively at the same level for a prolonged period of time. 2. Lenders must access the social and human network of the borrowers, so in the absence of structured punishment for default, social shaming may be a deterrent to defaulters. And 3. Platform integration to HR and benefit tools could ease collection and leverage direct source for repayment. Kudos to all tech startups solving this problem in Nigeria and beyond. Total elimination of the threat in cybersecurity is extremely difficult, making data protection and retaining data integrity over the internet such a complex task, with human components, people, technology, and process being its biggest enabler. However, cyber and information security should still be priority of every tech company, regardless of the size of the company. It is essential to protect the company's data. Not only does a breach threaten the company's financial security, it also affects viability. It is worrying to think that many organizations still don't give information security the required attention. Talking about mine as well, although that culture is changing. Risk and vulnerability in business must be identified, with administrative solutions applied to adequately protect the organization. I recently sat down with a security expert on TechRoundUp Talk, and here is a portion of that interview where Confidence Stevely laid out some good tips on data and information protection.
Okay, so information technology has become part of us. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It's deliver a lot of benefits. but we should also remember that it also exposes us to certain risk if we do not handle, we don't do the right things at the right time.
Yeah.
And I believe one of the best times to drive cybersecurity and to really make sure that we have great gains as concerns protecting information will be in the point of development. So I would like to say to entrepreneurs out there to really pay close attention to cybersecurity at the DevOps stage.
Okay.
I think that's the cheapest place to actually make sure that that's taken care of.
Our last story this week focuses on search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. This is a free tip or discussion for emerging entrepreneurs. Most people hear SEO and think Google almost immediately. Yes, Google is the most popular search engine. However, it is not the only one. SEO for years has been a strategic and reliable process of marketing solutions that suit target markets through a proper understanding of their search behaviors and what they search for. The importance of SEO in driving growth and visibility of businesses, especially those that are tech-enabled, cannot be overemphasized. The point of this story is for businesses to set up their SEO strategy beyond Google. The truth is, your SEO activities will generally be the same. You are just expanding your focus for the following reasons. 1. Google's share of the market is slowly declining. It was about 92% in 2012 and now about 87% in 2019, a 5% decline. Not significant, but worth monitoring. 2. Ignoring other search engines may lead to poor site ranking overall. And lastly, your target audience may not be searching on Google. They may be on other platforms like Amazon, YouTube, and other social media platforms. This week, our number of the week is 10 million. That's the amount of money in USD raised recently by a Nigerian Fintech that focuses on consumer lending. A special announcement before I sign off. We're hosting our first ever Product Innovation Masterclass on Saturday, March 14, 2020. If you're an entrepreneur or aspiring to start a tech business, this is a great opportunity for you to learn practical lessons in ideation, product development, and creating an effective go-to-market strategy for your solution. I'll be joined by the General Manager of Seedstar Nigeria, Alicia Barducci, and it will take place at the Work City at Second Roundabout, Lekki Phase 1. You can register free on TechRoundUp.tv. We'd like to hear your comments and feedback, so please connect with me on LinkedIn at Wale Faron or subscribe to the Tech Roundup YouTube channel if you haven't done so. If you're a founder, you should take advantage of our new startup profile. Send us your video for a chance to be featured in upcoming episode of Tech Roundup. Please remember to listen to Tech Roundup on Techie Talk every Wednesday from 1:30 p.m. on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. We'll be broadcasting live from the Social Media Week next week, Wednesday. You don't want to miss that special episode. Have a great weekend, guys, and see you all again next week. Good night. Seven.